And what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You're tuning into the One Mic Music Network, and right now you're tuning in with the one and only NFA J Sean. And this segment is called Blitz. And right now I got a caller on the line. Caller, tell them who you are, where you from, and what you got going on.
I'm 1 5, BET Award nominated music producer, also an American Music Award nominee. Um, I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and I'm here, blessed to be here with my guy, Jay, Mr. Davila.
Hey man, that's what's up, man. Thanks for coming on to the show. You already know we've been doing these blitz shows every once in the blue moon, every time we feel like it's necessary. For those of you who don't know what blitz is, it's where we go ahead and we talk a little bit more about the, conservative point of view on what's been going on out there in the world. We're letting the world know, you know, what's been going on how they look at the world. And right now, what we're looking at is that the conservative movement, for those who you don't know, those are the Republican people that are currently in the White House, that are running for office all over the country, all over the place. And for those of you who don't know, conservatives believe in, old American values and traditions. A lot of them happen to be of the Christian faith. There's also Muslim conservatives as well. There's conservative Jews. There's conservative Buddhists. There's conservative secular. There's conservative of all different religions and walks of life, but mostly you'll find these Christians. And right now, what we've been noticing is that, and I gotta say, between me and 1 5, we got on the phone call earlier and we were talking about how there's been a little shift in the way they've been believing, man. And you know, 1 5, he agreed that, lately we've been seeing a lot of, you know, things been going on with Israel and, Gaza. And, right now, there's a peace deal that happened where they released the hostages and prisoners on both sides. And a lot of people are speculating if this is real or not. But what we've been talking about is how conservative views are getting negative towards Israel lately. And back in the day, it wasn't like that, especially we're talking about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Particularly, everything was anti-Muslim within the conservative party, anti-Muslim terrorists, anti-Islamic terrorists, anti-Islamic phobia. There was a lot of, Islamic phobia going on. And now we're seeing that shift is going towards, you know, particularly Zionist Jews from Israel. And we don't see that a lot, and especially the last 25 years. So, do you agree 1 5 on that? With like, do
Yeah, I
you
mean,
see a lot of that stuff going on the internet right now, like especially in the news or media?
yeah, I've been seeing it a lot more, especially in podcasting. Um, I mean, we talked about it. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, huge conservative voices. Both of them have came out within the last year. Very anti-Jewish, anti-Jewish movement. Um, really condemning what they've been doing in Palestine and shedding light on some things that they've been doing throughout the world as far as manipulating governments. Um, I mean, when I first started hearing it, I was hearing that the whole October 7th thing was kind of set up by the Jewish government to be able to go in and eradicate Palestine. I'm not saying it's true. That's just what I've been hearing. And I heard that as far back as a little after October 7th, 2 years ago, when Palestine parachuted into Israel and that's where the hostages that they're releasing for this peace treaty. That's when those people were taken. They killed a lot of people over there. They did a lot of things, and Israel was slow to react to that, which a lot of people were saying that the government knew about it days in advance and decided not to do anything about it, so that it gave them an opportunity to go in there and do what they had to do with the Palestinian people and the Palestinian Authority in particular. Then we've been hearing a lot of stuff about how they may have been behind the JFK assassination. We've been hearing about who else? The Epstein guy, uh, his right hand. Her dad was high up in Israeli intelligence. Nobody can explain where Epstein got his money, but yet he had a lot of royal family members, a lot of wealthy individuals, a lot of politicians, a lot of business people compromised. And they're saying that he may have been an Israeli agent over here for that particular purpose, to compromise all these people so that they could blackmail them into doing more Israeli friendly, uh, like giving money, passing bills, and keeping the world kind of in line with what their agenda is. So I've been hearing a lot of different things like that going on the past few years, and it all seems to point back to Israel. A new thing I just heard today was that if you go back to even COVID, the CDC, which operated, in conjunction with this government to shut down small businesses and destroyed a lot of the small business in this country in favor of the bigger business, was dual citizenship people. The CDC people was all dual citizenship with Israel. The BlackRock CEO, dual citizenship with Israel. The people in charge of Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson and Johnson, all dual citizenship with Israel. So there was a lot of people that were making decisions behind the scenes that had dual citizenship with Israel. So there's a lot of things pointing to where this could be, some crazy stuff going on with Israel, or it could be a big coincidence, Jay. I really don't know, but it doesn't look good for them, that's for sure. And then even the Charlie Kirk thing, you see the bodyguard that he had was from Israel. He was given sniper signals behind him. His lapel microphone, are showing videos of that. Possibly exploding, and that's probably what killed him first before the shot even got there. There's a lot of stuff out there. So I don't know what's true, what's not. I'm not here to say what's true and what's not. That's for the people to decide. Do your homework, watch this stuff, watch some stuff against that stuff, and then form your own opinion. What I was brought on here for was to just tell the people what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm seeing. And even like the politicians, like you said, Jay, you're seeing a lot of them back off of Israel, whereas before, especially Republicans, they were really on board with Israel. Like, you couldn't touch Israel when it came to Republicans and conservatives, because they looked at them like, that's our brothers in Christ, we locked arms type thing, and now you're seeing them to back off a little bit. And I don't know what they know that we don't know to back off of that, but there's something going on that we don't know about to make these people that were staunch allies back off of that.
Yeah. I agree. There's so many, Republican conservative politicians right now that are speaking up against all of that.
Yeah.
And right now, all I know is that what happened the last 25 years was tough for Muslim people in America and around the world. America really gave the Muslims drama,
Mhm.
and I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 20 to 25 years now
Mhm.
for these guys.
Well, I mean,
I
can we
don't I
play
don't know.
bit on this and say that maybe more is more Middle Eastern money's coming in to finance these politicians, and maybe that's why they're backing off of Israel because they're getting so much money from the Saudis and other countries over there. Is that you think that may be a possibility on why these politicians are backing off? Because let's face it, politicians are greedy, man. That's what they got in office to do is rob the people blind, or that's what they end up doing, even if they don't get in it for that reason. But they're
Wow.
there to stay in power, and if the money's coming in to help them stay in power, they're going to go with what the money says and not what the people want.
Well, if the Saudis are giving the politicians money now, then that's a big problem. I mean, I know they just got that new airport going on for was that Qatar, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're seeing a shift in an alliance.
Well, they got things called PACs in Congress and stuff. That's why other countries have to form a pact. And when they go and form this pact, that's how they're able to talk to our politicians. And Israel is the only country in the world that isn't a pact. They don't have to form a pact. So they can go give money, donate money, and do all the things they need to do with our politicians that other countries are not allowed to do by law. And that's another reason a lot of people think that the JFK got assassinated because he wanted Israel to form a pact and be part of that process, and they didn't want to, and they were real against that back then. And then I think it was like a few months later he was assassinated. So you know it goes
I
back
mean,
to
I'm seeing the news even bringing up stuff about the Titanic.
oh well, I mean. Think of it. I mean, I don't know what was J.P. Morgan Chase. Was he Jewish? I don't know if he
I
was
don't
Jewish.
even know,
J.P.
but I
Morgan
know
Chase.
that
That was
I
the biggest the biggest thing that ever happened to banking happened on the Titanic. JP Chase wanted to centralize banking, right? And all the people that were against him ended up on the Titanic and it sunk. So if the Titanic never sunk, banking would look a lot different. The way the geopolitics of the world would look a lot different because if you think about it, the axis of evil, which is a term coined by Baby Bush that was in office, was five countries, right? It was North Korea, it was Iran, Iraq, Cuba, and was it China? Was China a part of that? I can't.
Iran,
Iran. Well, I said
in
Iran.
Syria, Afghanistan,
And Assyria. Well, no, it wasn't.
Cuba,
But anyhow, all the axis of evil was countries
Russia.
that didn't belong to that central banking system. So we went in, we took Iraq over. Iraq's now part of that central banking. Afghanistan's now part of that central banking. Um, so a lot of those countries didn't go along with the banking clans that we all know now are ran by Jewish people. So I mean, there's a lot of things that don't look good for the Jewish people, man. I'll be honest. Um, I have some Jewish friends. I love them to death. I got some friends that are Middle Eastern. I love them to death, man. They're great people. But I was raised to judge people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin, not what they believe in, but how they treat you. And I've always been treated with respect, and I tend to do the same. So when I say stuff like this on this podcast, it's not that I believe these things to be true. I'm seeing these things, and it makes me question whether or not if it is true. You know?
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing it. Way more now, and I always thought they would like never talk about stuff like this. I always thought that, that's they're never going to go against the grain. They're never going to go against their people. And then we're just finding out like they're buying TikTok or something like that. Like, wow. Like, is this why this whole thing's been in court the whole time? Because they want to own TikTok too? And what's the whole thing about Elon Musk and wanting to talk to Elon Musk? Why does he want to talk to Elon Musk about Twitter so much or X so much? It's just
Weird.
it
Weird.
it is weird. It's
Yep.
weird. Definitely is.
Yeah.
But yo, thanks for the insight. I definitely appreciate the insight, man. Every time you come on, man. This was an eye opener. You definitely touched on a lot of topics. And if
Mhm.
anybody else has been seeing the news, like talking about stuff like this too, let us know in the comments. What have you guys been seeing in the news? Is it just me and 1-5? Like, is the algorithms just towards us showing this stuff? Like, we want to know from you guys too. Like, is
Mhm.
it the same? Like liberals, Democrats, Republicans, all of everybody, moderates,
Yeah.
comment. Even if you don't even like politics,
Yeah.
just comment. Tell me
Yeah.
what tell me what you're seeing too. But hey, we're gonna get back on Blittz soon. I appreciate everybody tapping in. This show was brought to you by GQ.shop. Go check that out. That is JIKU.shop. You can set your own online store today in minutes. It's super easy. Go to JIKU.shop. I appreciate you, 1-5. Shout
Yes.
out to you. Shout out to the whole Ohio, man. Hey, man, you want to shout anybody out before we go?
Hey man, I'd like to shout you out first of all for giving this platform for people like me to come out and speak and shed light to some stuff that's going on in the world. I'd like to shout out my manager Jay Adams out in Los Angeles. I'd like to shout out my team around here, my guy Bad News, my man James, the On God podcast, my guy DJ, my guy C Dot out in Colorado for the Honky Talk podcast. I'm also a part of. And I'd like to shout out my artists: Bad News, Tino, Blunt, um, T Hunt, um, Shetty Black. There's a Demarco 275. I got a lot of artists I mess with. Tone Styles out of Chicago. Um, my guys Prince Visuals, my guy CEO Peso, just shouting out everybody that I can think of in the music industry that's doing something, man. I'd like to send blessings to everybody out that way. And I would also like to say, don't be violent towards Israelis in this country. Don't be violent towards Middle Eastern people in this country because we all know that the government uses division to kind of keep us in line. And the more we're divided in this country, the easier it is for us to be controlled by the people in power. So don't don't just run out and start committing acts of violence because somebody identifies as being a Jewish person, religiously, because of their governments. I mean, they're not part of the government. So I just want to, make that clear because a lot of college kids right now are going through a lot of things that are Israeli because of the stuff that's going on over in the Middle East right now, and their lives are in danger every day on college campuses. So I don't condone violence towards anybody or anything like that, but I do encourage you to make your own decisions when it comes to these things and just be informed. You know what I mean? So that's all I got, man.
Yeah, maybe you should just run for office and don't accept any money from APAC. That's like the
Yeah.
best way to go about fighting all of this is, assume these chairs of office, go in there and start getting voted. Find the politicians that are not talking corrupted so they don't need weird donations from people like APAC. And just like stuff like that, you know, that let's get our country back. If we ever even had our country, did we
Yeah.
ever have our country?
I
Did
mean,
we?
where
That's a
we're getting.
question. That's another question, though. We're gonna come back to that. Did we
Yeah.
ever have our country, or has this always just been one big, you know, I don't know, a money grab? I don't
We're
know.
a corporation.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in.